This video is to show you how to hook up a remote control for an automatic door locks for a 2017 Toyota Tacoma. I purchased my Tacoma. It came with automatic door locks but no remote control. It didn't even have a control module, so when I took it to the dealer to try to get a key to open it, remote control key, it would not work on the system because they had no way to program it. I bought this little system online for $20. I bought mine on eBay. This looks like the exact same kit on AliExpress. eBay was $20. AliExpress looks like it's a little bit cheaper. Take your pick, whichever one you want. And I'll show you what I did for my truck to make it work. Here's my truck. Here's the system. I made a little schematic here, a little wiring diagram just to show you what I did. And I'll go through that with you as we go through this. And what's interesting about this type of lock system is that it uses a negative ground system to make it switch from lock to unlock. Here's the remotes that came with the system for the same, all for $20. You got the remotes, you got the controls, you got the wires, all in one. Here's the schematic of the system that you get for the $20. And this is the cover, what it looks like. It's called a keyless entry system 405Q. This is what I did. I took out the floor panel first. Actually, I have a little cover there on the floor of my car. Pulled that out. Then the door threshold, this little plastic plate, you just pull straight up and it just comes off. Take that off. And you got a little side plate there along the side of your door there that it needs to come off because that's where the wires are that you need to access to hook the system up. It's got a little nut back there. There's the nut you pull off. Then this little side plate just pulls straight back towards the back of the truck. It just pops loose. Take it out of there. Then there's the wires that you need to access to hook up the system. Here's the test lot I purchased at Harbor Freight. It's a pretty good system there. I always test it first. I hook it to the battery, one side is negative, one side is positive, and the light does light up. I took the same test light and I hooked the clamp to the screw of that little side plate that we just took off. That is a good ground screw. So now the test light is hooked to ground, and when you take that same test light that's hooked to ground and you look at these wires right out of there where you just took off the cover plate, there's a blue, a light blue, and a dark blue. I call this my light blue and I call this my dark blue. The light blue wire on top here is used to unlock the doors, and the dark blue wire is used to lock the doors. So if you just take your test light, so I'll show you here what I did. I took my test light and I touched the light blue wire and the doors unlocked. Just because all I do is take a ground to this and it makes it unlock. You take the same ground and you touch the dark blue wire and the doors lock. It's a great way to test the system before you hook anything up. Make sure it's all working like it's supposed to. And here's the picture of a hot wire that I found above those wires. Look up above, a little bit higher up under the dash, and you'll see this red wire and this green wire. The red wire provides power that you need to hook to the controller. There it is again. What I did is I just unconnected that to give access to it, and there it is hanging free. And then I took the red wire from the controller box that came with your system, and I went ahead and soldered the tip there to make it rigid, because I didn't want to cut into any of my wires. It's a new truck and I don't like cutting into wires. So I soldered the end of it, make it rigid, so I could just run the wire into the connector alongside the red wire that's there. Alternatively, if you don't want to solder, you don't have a soldering iron, you can take a 20 gauge rigid wire. That's what I found. It's 32 thousandths of an inch, and took a connector, this little red connector here, and with that connector I hooked that 20 gauge wire to the multi-strand yellow wire that I needed in place of soldering. Either way, I took both of those yellow wires. You're going to take a yellow and a black and the solid yellow and run them to those two wires, the light green, the light blue, and the dark blue wires, to both lock and unlock your doors. Here's the two wires. One is yellow, solid yellow, and one is just yellow with the black stripe. Kind of hard to see on the screen here. And here's the wire that I did solder, and I'll show you what I did. I stuck it right in here, right next to the other red wire. Like I said, I didn't want to splice into my wires. And I took a regular clamp and I zip tied it together so that this wire wouldn't just fall out. Then you take the two white wires from your controller. One is solid white, one is white with a black stripe. And there's also a black wire to ground the entire controller. I put them all together. I hooked them to a little clamp just to help tie them together. And then this is what I'm going to use to ground those three wires to the chassis of the car. So what I did, I found here's the main ground wires for the car already. So I just put a self-tapping screw right into the sheet metal and screwed it on. And here's the other grounds, the system, but this is the one I added. And then I took off this little cover plate. It's on the left below the driver's side door, driver's steering wheel on the left. And this is just for the little indicator light that comes with the system. I pulled this off just to show you what it looks like top and back. It's just a little clamp that pops right out. Ran the indicator light through here, drilled a hole in the little thing. And then after you drill the hole, you push the light back in, and this little light blinks when the system's operating. Okay, there's the system after I took and hooked it all up and put everything, crammed it back up underneath. Then I just hit that threshold with my hand, just tapped it back down. It all went right back into place. I'm going to show you this a little bit, what I come up with, my little keyless entry system diagram. See if I can show it to you a little bit better. We'll go back. Hold on one second here. There we go. This, I just want to show you what I've done. I took the yellow and black wire and hooked that to the light blue wire right there. And that light blue one, as you pull up here, it'll show you that it unlocks the system. And then I took the solid yellow to the lower dark blue one, and that locks the doors. And then your red, your two white wires, the white, black, and the white, and the black wire, all go to that ground that we talked about. So this is the way it goes. Just give you some information. You might want to take a picture of this with your cell phone so you just can see what's there. You don't have to keep coming back to the computer to figure out how to do it. Anyway, I wish you lots of luck. It worked for my system. I hope it'll work for yours too. Good luck.